Welcome back. We're not talking about love here, we're talking about value. Not the shallow, easy to come and go kind of attraction, but the quiet, deep attraction of a man who knows who he is. In a world where men are increasingly predictable, easy to please, willing to sacrifice themselves for a little affection, it's your calm, your elusiveness, your ability to stay silent in the face of rejection that makes you irreplaceable. In this video, we'll dive into the 8 silent traits that create irresistible attraction without you even trying. Just be there, take control, and let women feel it. Here we go. Number 1. Emotional independence. The hidden power women can't resist. In a world where love is often mistaken for emotional dependence, many men unknowingly sabotage their own worth. You might think it's romantic to say, "I can't live without you," or to constantly seek validation from her presence. But beneath that poetic desperation lies a truth that Stoic men have known for centuries. Emotional dependence is not love, it is surrender. When your happiness hinges on someone else's approval, you hand over your peace. You become like a leaf tossed by the storm, desperate, unstable, and easy to lose. The illusion of devotion can quickly turn into a burden, and she will feel it, not as love, but as pressure, not as connection, but as a silent demand to complete you. Why is this a fatal flaw? Because emotional dependence places your entire sense of self-worth in her hands. She becomes the sun, and you orbit her. But no woman truly wants to be the center of a man's universe. She wants to be part of it, a part of a universe already full, already radiant. When you depend on her for emotional completeness, you're silently telling her, "I am not enough without you." That's not love, that's need. And need is never attractive. Epictetus once wrote, "You are disturbed not by events, but by your opinion about them." If your opinion is that her withdrawal or her silence destroys you, then you are not loving her, you are clinging to her. Love from weakness is not love, it's a leash. Consider this. When a man texts incessantly during a short absence, when he says things like, "I can't live without you," or cancels all his plans just to be available, what message does it send? It tells her you have no mission, no anchor, and no life without her. At first, it may seem sweet, but soon it becomes suffocating, predictable, boring. She doesn't lose interest because you're kind. She loses interest because your entire energy revolves around her. There is no edge, no tension, no challenge. And without those things, desire dies a quiet death. So what is the alternative? It is the calm, unshakable energy of a man who chooses her, but does not need her. A man who, even in the face of distance or disapproval, does not crumble, who remains grounded, who continues his mission, who returns to his core, not hers. This is the man a woman cannot ignore. This is the man she respects even when she's angry, especially when she's testing him, because she senses something rare: emotional certainty, emotional independence, the deep inner security that whispers, "I want you, but I am complete without you." It's not arrogance, it's discipline. It's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that strength be your foundation. Number 2. Why emotional dependence destroys attraction and how to reclaim your power. Imagine this. A man meets a woman he deeply admires. She's charming, intelligent, emotionally alive. But soon his admiration morphs into fear of losing her, of not being enough. So he begins to overextend. He texts her constantly. He cancels plans to be available. He tells her, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm nothing without you." What started as genuine interest becomes emotional desperation, and slowly the attraction dies, not because she changed, but because his energy did. Emotional dependence is a trap. And worse, it's a silent one. It creeps in masked as devotion, disguised as vulnerability, but underneath, it erodes your sense of self. You begin to measure your worth through her responses, how quickly she replies, how often she compliments you, how close she sits. The relationship becomes a mirror in which you're constantly trying to find yourself. But what happens when she pulls away? You panic, you chase, you compromise. Not because you love her, but because you fear losing her. This is not strength, this is surrender. A Stoic man sees through the illusion. He understands that true connection begins with inner stability, not emotional entanglement. When Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself," he was warning you. If your peace rises and falls with her attention, you are not in control of your life. Let's be honest, emotional dependence never inspires respect. It invites pity, it invites avoidance. No one wants to be someone else's oxygen tank. It's too heavy, too much responsibility, and worst of all, it's a burden she never asked for. Now consider the reverse. Imagine a man who is fully immersed in his own path. He is emotionally available but never emotionally needy. He is kind but never overly accommodating. He doesn't say, "I need you to feel okay." He says, "I'm okay and I'd love to share that peace with you." That is power, that is choice. When you're emotionally independent, your love is no longer a plea, it becomes a gift. You give from fullness, not from lack, from self-respect, not self-sacrifice. This shift changes everything. It's the reason why women are magnetically drawn to men who don't chase, because these men signal emotional abundance. They're not grasping, they're not hoping to be chosen. They are the ones doing the choosing. The woman becomes a companion on his journey, not the source of his value. So how do you build that emotional independence? Start with what you control: your thoughts, your routines, your focus. Let go of trying to manipulate outcomes or read her every signal. Train yourself to be grounded in your own world, a world rich with purpose, friends, growth, and values. When you detach your self-worth from her approval, she will feel it. And ironically, that's when she starts to lean in. Not because you chased, but because your absence of need created space for desire. Emotional independence isn't cold, it's magnetic. It's the fire within that keeps you warm even when the world feels distant. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do. Let your actions speak confidence." Number 3, how to cultivate emotional independence without becoming distant or cold. There's a myth that independence in love means being aloof, that to protect your heart, you must shut it off. But true Stoic independence isn't about apathy, it's about grounded presence. It's about being so centered in who you are that you don't lose yourself in who they are. To build that kind of independence, you have to begin from the inside out. Start by asking yourself this: what do I actually control in this relationship? Not her mood, not her choices, not even her interest. You only control how you show up, what you believe about yourself, and how you choose to act in the face of uncertainty. That's where your freedom begins. Epictetus reminded us, some things are up to us and some are not. When you invest energy into what isn't yours, like hoping she always texts first, or feeling crushed when she's distracted, you drain your power. But when you shift focus to what is yours, your discipline, your standards, your mindset, you step back into your masculine core. This doesn't mean you don't care, it means you're not controlled. So how do you apply this? First, cultivate a life outside of her. Passion isn't just found in romance, it's in your mission, your goals, your routines. A man who has something bigger than a woman to wake up for is a man no woman wants to lose. That's not ego, that's reality. You also need emotional rituals, spaces where you recalibrate, whether it's training your body, journaling your thoughts, spending time with friends who ground you, or simply taking time alone to reflect, this is how you remember. You were whole before she arrived. You'll be whole after she leaves. That mindset is power, and here's the paradox. The more emotionally independent you become, the deeper your connection can grow. Because now you're not clinging, you're inviting. You're not demanding, you're offering. And that shift changes the emotional tone of the entire relationship. Women are emotionally intuitive. They feel your energy before you say a word. If you radiate peace, direction, and emotional stability, she will relax in your presence. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you don't need to. You've already impressed yourself. And this is where attraction becomes devotion, not because you manipulated her, but because you modeled something rare. A man who doesn't ask for approval to be himself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So protect those thoughts. Train them, lead them. Because a man who leads his mind never chases validation." Number 4. Why emotional independence makes you irresistible without you needing to prove anything. There's a reason why women feel drawn to men who don't need them, but still choose them. That difference? It's magnetic. A man who needs a woman to feel worthy, safe, or whole radiates a subtle desperation even when he hides it. His compliments feel like pleas. His presence feels heavy. His energy drains rather than grounds. But a man who has cultivated inner abundance, whose worth doesn't hang on her responses, has a calm that speaks louder than any words. He doesn't panic when she withdraws. He doesn't beg when she pulls back. He doesn't unravel when she's silent. Instead, he listens. He observes. He waits. And in that space, he becomes more attractive, not less. Because now she's not reacting to a man craving attention. She's sensing a man rooted in something deeper. Stoic wisdom teaches us, no man is free who is not master of himself. When you let your emotions, reactions, or need for closeness control your behavior, you lose that mastery. And when you lose that, you lose polarity, the very thing that sustains desire. So how does independence amplify attraction? It creates mystery without manipulation. It says, I have a world of my own. You're welcome in it. But I will not collapse it just to be near you. That kind of energy is rare. And it awakens something primal in her. It tells her, this man does not need me to complete him, but he has chosen to open his world to me. That must mean I'm special. This is the paradox. The less you chase approval, the more deeply they feel your value, because true power is quiet. True desire is chosen, not begged for. And true intimacy is born when two complete people choose to walk together, not when one leans so heavily on the other that they lose their balance. In practice, this means letting silence sit without fear. It means not interrupting your goals for temporary affection. It means smiling through rejection because you know who you are without her applause. Remember, every time you react impulsively, texting too fast, over-explaining, seeking reassurance, you train her to see you as emotionally dependent. But every time you breathe, pause, and stand tall in your own world, you remind her, I'm not here to chase you. I'm here to meet you as equals. That's what makes a woman lean in, not because you asked her to, but because she couldn't help it. When you embody emotional independence, you become more than a partner, you become a presence. And a presence like that doesn't fade. It leaves a mark that lingers long after the conversation ends. Number 5, the power of being a man with a mission and why she can't resist it. There's something silently magnetic about a man who's not looking for approval, validation, or someone to complete his story because he's too busy writing his own. Women are drawn to men who have a mission, not a goal, not a checklist, but a mission, a sense of inner purpose so rooted that no emotion, no rejection, no temptation can pull him off course. It's not about arrogance. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about showing without saying that your life is already full of meaning. That she is not the meaning, but she can become a part of it if she chooses. This is why women fall harder for the man who doesn't drop everything when she calls. Not because he's cold, but because his time is sacred. Because when you prioritize your mission, you become rare. And in a world of men who chase, explain, and bend, the one who walks with direction stands out like fire in the dark. She begins to wonder, what drives him? What's behind that calm? Why doesn't he need my attention to feel worthy? And that curiosity is the seed of attraction. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When your thoughts revolve around your mission, you don't just become focused, you become irresistible. Because now, every action, every word, every silence carries weight. She watches how you show up, how you stick to your schedule, how you refuse to sacrifice your goals just to gain her temporary approval. And whether she realizes it or not, she begins to respect you more. You're not the man who says, "Tell me what you want and I'll become it." You're the man who says, "This is who I am. This is what I'm building. You're welcome to join me, but I won't stop walking." This subtle strength changes everything. She knows she can't play games with you because your attention is not cheap. She knows she can't control your time because it's already committed to something greater. She knows she can't make you lose yourself in her because you've already found yourself in your mission. And that realization flips a switch inside her. You stop being an option. You become a challenge, a standard, a gravitational pull she didn't expect. So if you want to awaken desire, stop trying to be more of what she likes. Start being more of what drives you. Don't cancel your gym session just to meet her. Don't abandon your business just to be more available. Don't soften your edge just to keep her around. Because when your life has direction, your presence gains dimension. And that's the kind of man no woman forgets. Number 6, the paradox of controlled vulnerability. Why it pulls her in instead of pushing her away. There's a strange power in a man who bleeds but never begs. A man who has suffered but doesn't seek sympathy. Who has stories of pain but chooses carefully when and how to tell them. This isn't weakness dressed as openness. It's strength wrapped in silence until the moment is right. This is the paradox of controlled vulnerability, and it's one of the most intoxicating qualities a man can possess. You see, most men fall into one of two traps. They either wall off completely, never showing emotion, thinking that silence equals strength, or they pour it all out too early, hoping their wounds will earn love or pity or validation. But the rare man, the Stoic man, walks the middle path. He knows that vulnerability, when revealed too soon, screams neediness, but when revealed with restraint, it whispers depth. And depth is magnetic, because when a woman sees that you've felt deeply, but didn't let it destroy you, when she realizes you've been broken but rebuilt yourself. Without complaint, she doesn't just feel empathy, she feels privilege. She thinks, he doesn't open up to everyone, but he opened up to me. And that moment of shared truth, just one builds a bridge stronger than 1,000 jokes or compliments. But it only works when it's earned. Stoic wisdom reminds us of this. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." You've been through adversity. Good. Now prove your strength not by pretending it didn't happen, but by choosing when to share and how. Don't trauma dump. Don't overshare to manipulate sympathy. And never, ever confuse raw emotion with emotional mastery. Instead, share a story you've already conquered. Not a wound you're still bleeding from. Tell her about the time you lost everything and built it back. Mention the darkness you walked through and how it sharpened you, and then let it go. Don't linger in it. Don't ask for a reaction, because what pulls her in isn't just your openness, it's your ability to stand tall even after being vulnerable. That tells her, you don't need her to fix you. You're not looking to be saved. You've already saved yourself, and she just caught a glimpse of the warrior behind the calm. That's rare. That's unforgettable. That's attractive on a level words can't reach. So remember, vulnerability is like fire. It can warm or it can burn. Use it wisely, and when you do, you'll see something change. Her eyes will soften, her tone will shift, her guard will lower, because she no longer sees just a man. She sees a story, one she wants to know more of, one she wants to be part of, one she doesn't want to lose. Number 7. How to pass her tests without even trying the Stoic way. She may not even realize she's doing it, but she will test you, not because she's cruel, not because she's playing games, but because deep down a woman needs to know one thing before she lets her heart fall. Can he hold his ground when I try to shake it? These aren't tests like school exams. They're subtle, emotional, sometimes unconscious. She may question your opinion not to argue, but to see if you fold. She may act distant not because she doesn't care, but to see if you'll chase. She may tease, challenge, or even contradict you just to see if you need her approval. This is what modern psychology calls mate testing. And Stoic men, they pass it without effort, because while others react, the Stoic observes. While others defend, the Stoic listens. While others try to win, the Stoic remains still and lets truth speak for itself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." These tests are not threats. They are mirrors. They reflect who you truly are when the surface is stirred. So how do you respond? When she challenges your opinion, smile. Hold your view without hostility. Say, "Interesting point. I still see it this way, but I like how you think." When she goes cold for no reason, don't scramble. Don't blow up her phone. Stay grounded. Let her come to you when she's ready. When she jokes about your flaws, laugh with her. Don't take it personally, but don't apologize for who you are, because here's the truth. Every test she gives you is a silent question. Are you strong enough to not be shaken by me? And the moment you flinch, the moment you explain yourself too much, chase too quickly, or get defensive, you answer, no. But when you stay calm, when you let her storm crash against your cliffs, without moving an inch, you give her something she didn't even know she needed. A sense of emotional gravity, a man she can lean into without feeling like she has to lead. This doesn't mean you become cold or unfeeling. It means you become immovable because you are rooted in your own self-respect. You don't react to her emotions. You respond with presence. And presence is the rarest gift a man can give. Over time, she'll stop testing. Why? Because the tests are just her search for security. And once she sees you are unshakable, she relaxes. She trusts. She submits not in weakness, but in surrender to your strength. So the next time she pushes your buttons, don't see it as a problem. See it as an invitation to show her who you are without saying a word. And that, my brother, is how a Stoic man becomes irresistible, not by playing games, but by never playing them at all. Number 8. The magnetic power of rejection and mystery, without saying a word. Most men fear rejection, but the Stoic welcomes it, not because it doesn't sting, but because it reveals everything. When a woman says no, pulls back, or shows disinterest, most men crumble. They rush in, they beg, they ask, "What did I do wrong?" But you're different, because you know something they don't. A rejection isn't the end, it's an invitation to demonstrate your true power. See, when you handle rejection with calm, composed indifference, you send a silent signal. My worth is not defined by your response. This is emotional strength, and it's rare. Let's say you ask her out, she says she's busy. Don't spiral. Don't double text. Don't try to prove anything. Just smile, say, "No problem, maybe another time," and continue your day with unshaken rhythm. That single act says more about your masculinity than 1,000 compliments ever could. Because here's the truth. Rejection isn't about you, it's about timing, perception, her mood, even her insecurities. But how you respond, that's always about you. Now pair that response with mystery, and something powerful happens. Women are wired for curiosity. When they can't read you completely, when you don't reveal everything, don't answer instantly. Don't overshare too soon. Their mind fills in the gaps with intrigue. She wonders, why doesn't he chase like the others? What's he focused on that's more important than me? Who is he really? Mystery is not about being fake or manipulative. It's about restraint, the art of not spilling your soul to someone who hasn't earned it. In a world where men overshare, overreact, and overexpose, be the one who's hard to read. It's the difference between a candle and a wildfire. One flickers and fades. The other draws attention from miles away because it burns silently, powerfully, with purpose. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The good man doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't reveal every thought. He moves with quiet conviction, knowing that the right people will be drawn not to his noise, but to his stillness. So let her reject you. Let her guess what's on your mind. Let her feel the weight of your absence more than the noise of your pursuit. Because one day when she realizes you never needed her validation, she'll crave your presence more than she ever expected. And when that day comes, you'll already be on your path, focused, grounded, unmoved. Because the Stoic man doesn't chase affection. He becomes the kind of man affection chases. And that is your final advantage. You have just gone through 8 characteristics that make a man leave a deep impression on a woman's mind without having to try. Not because you are more handsome, not because you have more money, but because you know who you are and you don't need anyone to confirm it. As Seneca once said, "A man is not moved by compliments, nor will he be defeated by rejection." If you want her to think about you constantly, don't try to make her miss you. Be the man she is afraid of losing. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you find something that touches your mind or heart, leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next profound content. See you again in the serenity of a real man.